blessing that Joseph was. Why did they have to go there? And he simply said, it took so long because they had not cried. Lord have mercy. The reason why God shows up immediately in the garden is because the need that Adam and Eve had cried, and he shows up. Israel, beloved, had a voice, and they had a knowledge, a consciousness, an acknowledgement, a recognition, a relationship, a promise with God, and they had not cried the way they needed to cry. It's one thing for stuff to come out of your mouth. Pastor, how do you know they had not cried? Because you got to understand, beloved, anybody who is serious about getting out of something is not so quick to get ready to go back once they're out. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit the table. You have to understand that God is not showing up just because you have a superficial utterance. He's coming when you cry from the right place. You don't believe I have, you don't believe I have, it's in Exodus. I know I need scriptural substantiation for the theological giants that are in my life. It's right there in Exodus. Watch this what he says. He says, look, I want you to get it. I want you to get it. In Exodus chapter 2, right there, he says, look, when Moses, he comes and he gets married. It's right there in chapter 2. And get on over there in verse 23. And it says this, now it happened in the process of time. Lord have mercy. It happened in the process of time that the king of Egypt died. Then the children of Israel, oh my God, groaned. Is that right there in your Bible? They groaned because of the bondage. Watch this. And they cried out. Did you hear what I just said? It was from their belly. They groaned because of their bondage, and they cried out. And then look at what happened. Their cry took a trip. Lord have mercy. Their cry took a journey, and their cry came up to God because of their bondage. I want to ask you a question. What's pushing your prayers? Hey, what's causing your belly to get involved in your utterance? What's causing your heart to become synchronized and synergized with the words that are coming out of your mouth, such that God knows you're serious about being out this time? He says here, so God heard their groan. What did he hear? What did he hear? He heard their groan. What did he hear, Pastor? He heard their groaning. Maybe, beloved, God is so put off by our words that he can't hear our groanings. Because what it says here is that he heard their groanings. They groaned and then they cried. And you got to realize here, Adam's need called God. Because Adam never prayed. Adam never said anything. And the Bible here says, look, and they groaned and they cried, and God heard their groanings. Watch here. And God remembered his covenant with Abraham and with Isaac and with Jacob. And God looked up on the children of Israel and he acknowledged them. Now all of a sudden, the call that comes out of the place where it does not necessarily utters the word, but it definitely gives the meaning to what I need. My need called God, and God shows up. So now I get to chapter 3. It's right there in the text, and I'm going to have to move on in a minute. He says here, look, in verse 9 of chapter 3, he says, look, y'all know the whole story when he gets through and he talks to Moses there. He says, now I've come down to deliver them. But verse 9 says this, now therefore the cry of the children of Israel has come to me. Oh, there it is again. It has come to me. It has come to me. In chapter 2, verse 4 says, so God heard their groanings and God remembered his covenant. Watch this here. Verse 23 says, and their cry came up to God. Chapter 3, verse 9 says, and their cry of the children has come to me. Oh my God, then that has to mean, beloved, that the prayers of the righteous are not citizens of the earth. I don't want to talk back to me here. You need to understand that if your prayers are prayed from the right place, they immediately take a trip to the place where they're going to have citizenship. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to teach you that in a minute, where they're going to have citizenship, because the prayers of the righteous, beloved, are not limited to the earth realm. Why? Because they are seeking the audience of the one who can answer them. Oh my God. It says he's seeking the audience. So now all of a sudden, God is saying, I heard the groanings, prayers have come up before me, and now I have come down. Ooh, wait a minute. Adam